Okay, let's open the Anker V1 charger box and see what's inside. We got the box, 3-year warranty, 8-year lifespan. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, 7.4 kilowatts. Obviously there's a faster version if you want a 3-phase. This is what the box looks like. Interactive touch control, and the side this shows the Anker app. So the idea is that because the charger is the same brand as the battery, you get to manage them with just one app rather than two.
Please contribute. It really helps my independent, honest journalism for you. Just to be clear, Anker did not sponsor this install video or any of the other videos about the V1 charger or mum and dad's home battery install. It was done by RESINC Solar and Batteries. Just because I trust them, it's a paid install which mum and dad paid for.
To show you that the Anker V1 EV charger is compatible with pretty much every modern EV out there on the market, I'm going to show you test chargers with a bunch of electric cars that I have on media loan. So today it's going to be the Zeekr 7X, one of the hottest new electric cars out there on the Australian market. And other tests are going to include Kia EV3, Kia EV4, and whatever else I get lent out during the next few weeks. Let's see and find out how it works. So the first thing I have to do with this Zeekr 7X is press the charge port. Now it's a powered charge port, so don't yank it or shove it back closed because you'll damage the motor. I personally think that powered charge ports are a bad idea because inevitably someone will not think about it and they will push or pull it and damage it. But anyway, it is a powered one, so let's try it out. On the plus side, the Zeekr 7X charge port is on the back passenger side of the vehicle, exactly very similar to where a Tesla charging port is, an MG4. So it's a really good location, both for parallel parking charging from a power pole or charging at a DC fast charger, because you can back in and be able to get out of the charging station with clear visibility of all the cars around you. Okay, let's open this up. Right, it's open. We're going to open this top bit because that's all we need for a normal Type 2 charger. If you were fast charging at a highway stop, we would remove this as well. In Australia, the Anker V1 charger has a 7-meter cable and it's in its holster. So let's remove it from that and plug it into the Zeekr 7X. Let's unloop the cable a bit first. Now, unfortunately, the Zeekr PR team haven't given me app access to this car, but this is what you can see the Zeekr 7X looks like when it's charging from a Type 2 charger. You've got the charging status here, range 78%, time left 2 hours 54 minutes, current range 375 kilometers, charging speed is 41 kilometers per hour of energy added to the battery at 7.2 kilowatt charge rate. And you can see a progress meter here. Yeah, that's how it works. Pretty easy to understand. Can you see any more information on the main car charging screen? Let's have a look in a second. This is what the main car charging screen looks like. So we've got charging, remaining time, stop charging button. We've got a charging limit that you can set. Oh, you can slide it along. Oh, okay. Interestingly, it doesn't have to be an exact multiple of 5 or 10%. It can be 87%, 91%, 100%, whatever you want. It can go between 50 and 100. Current range, amount left, 375. And it gives a few more stats, charging current, charging voltage. Basically, it's being fed 32 amps with a little bit of charging loss in the cable, which is perfectly normal. You can schedule charging if you want to, which is good for people who want to charge regularly at the same time of day. What do you think of that? Okay, Dad, please demonstrate how to stop a charge using the touch panel. How easy is it? Done. Too easy. Okay, cool. And now to close the Zeekr 7X charge port, remember what I said at the beginning, it's powered. Don't just shove it because you might break the motor. Press this little button instead, which really should have open close labeling on it, but anyway. There you go. Let's have a look inside. There we go. That's the charger, and covered in plastic is the touch control strip area. All the different bits and pieces are also needed in there. We'll let the installers deal with that, and I'll show you what's in there as they do their work. It's a 7-meter tethered cable, and the charger itself allows control obviously via touch, as I said before, and app, and also Bluetooth via the app in case your Wi-Fi goes down, or also RFID tap. There's an Anker V1 RFID card included in the box, which is quite handy.
Okay, let's keep looking. Anker always includes a very detailed quick start guide and installer guide. The wire box is underneath, and we'll show you 3 different ways that it can be wired up later. That's the holster for the cable, and these are all the bits of paperwork you get inside. As you can see, the quick start guide is super detailed, so even if your electrician hasn't installed an Anker SOLIX V1 charger before, they can literally just follow the step-by-step guide piece by piece and finish the install perfectly compliant with Anker's installation requirements. There are a bunch of things you need to make sure you're prepared for before your installer turns up to put the charger on your wall, in your garage or your driveway. Firstly, where's it going to go? The cable is 7 meters long, so you have to try and imagine your current electric car and any other future electric cars that you might buy, plus maybe visiting friends or guests, family. Can your preferred location for putting the EV charger actually reach with 7 meters wherever the charging port is? So the other thing is how high up on the wall. Anker suggests between 50 and 150 centimeters around chest height for ease of use. Nicely, as I mentioned before, you can use a bottom, middle, or top cable entry for nice and tidy installation. And if you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal, you can use an Ethernet cable, get your electrician to run one to your home router, and you don't need to worry about a Wi-Fi connectivity for the charger. Now, the EV holster, Dad did get that installed, but that is optional. There is a socket for the charging cable on the charger itself, but I think it makes much more sense and it's much more tidy to have the holster underneath. And the other benefit is it rocks down so the handle of the charging cable isn't poking out so much. For Mum and Dad, the place that they want to install the EV charger was perfect. It was the shortest cable run possible to the main power board for the house. There was a nice place where the charger could be installed symmetrically between 2 existing conduits for a power socket and the power light switch for the garage. And from that location, you could easily charge a car that's either parked in the garage right next to the charger, or right outside the garage, or at the second parking space parallel outside the garage as well. I've tested all 3 of these locations with a bunch of different electric cars, and yeah, try and choose a place that's really flexible and easy to charge different cars in different places with different locations of charge ports. Now, this charger can be used as a smart charger with solar only and detailed logging of what power sources are used for it, but that only works with an Anker DC hybrid battery system. Dad got an Anker AC battery system because it was a lot cheaper to install, and they're retired, and they are happy to schedule the charger and use it when they know there's lots of spare solar. So if you had an Anker DC hybrid system, This install would also include connecting it up to either an Anker SOLIX smart meter, a Shelly 3EM, or a Shelly Pro 3EM. So those meters can be connected to the Anker V1 EV charger if you want it to be smart, but that can only be done if you have an Anker DC hybrid battery paired with this Anker SOLIX V1 EV charger.
So the car's at 43%. How fast does it recharge? Well, this is interesting. It's a powered charging port. I actually don't think that's a great idea because people may not realize it's a powered port, and if they shove it closed, that could damage the motor. It's just an example of a feature that didn't need to be there. Overly complicated. How hard is it to just flap that open and closed by yourself? Anyway, how fast is it? 6.6 kilowatt single phase and 10.3 kilowatt on a 3-phase. So that's pretty good. We're going to take this off now and we're going to charge it at my dad's place because they just got a new Anker V1 car charger. Let's try it out. That's Mum and Dad's new charger. It's set to automatically charge a car when it's plugged in because the charger's in their garage near their Anker battery, and obviously no one else can get access to it because of that. Let's grab the charging port cable and plug it in. It's 7 meters, by the way, in case you're wondering. Okay, we've got the charging cable and we've taken the cover off. Nice thing about having a holster is you can unravel just as much cable as you actually need. And let's plug it into the car now. We're going to plug it in and then is about how fast it's charging, because remember, this car doesn't have an app. So you have to rely on your charger hardware app at home or public charging app like ChargeFox or EV to keep track of how full the car battery is and how fast it's charging. Let's plug it in and off we go. This particular charger doesn't have a screen with numbers on it, but it does have a light bar which changes color depending on what's happening. Green moving like this means the charge is occurring and is going fine.
Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos. It really helps me make more videos like this for you. And have a look at the suggested videos up above. I'm pretty sure you'll like those as well. Thanks, and see you later.